Last week I made a video expressing my satisfaction that Rooster Boy lost the Dutch elections. Never before had I received so much criticism from so stupid of people. Most of them began chanting that the Netherlands would be under Sharia law soon, and went as far as to call me a liberal. Okay, so we're gonna break this down piece by piece. Like I said in two of my previous videos, when it comes to immigration, I am okay with Western people living in other Western countries. If a person from Germany wants to live in France, or if a person from Sweden wants to live in New Zealand, I'm okay with that. On the other hand, as I mentioned before, I am not okay with people from third world countries living in the West. Not only do I want people from the Middle East banned, I would also turn away people from China, India, Africa, and so on. So let me say it again. Anyone who is from these areas of the world wouldn't be allowed in if you asked me.
These are racist!
Yes, I am a racist. I have openly admitted that. Now, in response, I support the idea of very tight Western unity. I support the European Union, NATO, CETA, and so on. But I am not prepared to sacrifice any of that because of fear-mongering from certain idiots who know nothing about anything. Not only will getting rid of these unions cripple Western unity, it will not work. Let me start on the European Union, since it's the easiest. Leaving the EU is not going to stop Muslims from entering your country. For example, the majority of Muslims in France came from Algeria, or the majority of Muslims in the UK came from Pakistan. Are either of these two nations in the EU? No, they are not. So instead of closing yourselves off from other Western countries, why don't you close your borders to these countries? I mean, it's already happening right now. Let's not forget that the European Court ruled that banning hijabs isn't discrimination, and any migrant coming to Europe is detained and sent back to Turkey. And many other similar things are happening as well.
The first case of its kind, the European Court of Justice has ruled that employers are allowed to ban employees from wearing visible religious, political and philosophical symbols in the workplace. However, such a ban has to be based on internal company rules dictating that employees dress neutrally and cannot be based on the wishes of a customer. The ECJ ruling was based on court cases brought by two female employees in Belgium and France, who were dismissed for refusing to remove their Islamic headscarves. The headscarf and other religious symbols are a contentious issue in a number of European countries, particularly France, which attaches importance to the separation of church and state.
Yet, all these people will continue to chant their fear-mongering beliefs that Western countries will become Islamic. Look, 4% of people in Europe are Muslim. 4% That is nowhere near any Sharia caliphate. Okay, I need to catch my breath. Now, let me also address the liberals in this area. I bet you're... I'll explain why I want a racially homogeneous society. Number one is that Western culture does indeed exist. And I don't want these people who don't accept it inflicting their multicultural views on us. For example, when I am asked to describe a stereotypical Italian woman, I think of a woman with black hair, tight cleavage, and dark dress. I do not want that to change. The same way Saudi Arabia doesn't want the view of Saudi women in burqas to change. Here's a question for SJWs. Why is it that in your eyes only white majority countries need diversity? Why doesn't Jordan or Taiwan or Singapore or Dubai have to accept diversity? They have good quality of life. They have room. Now, the second reason is the hypocrisy factor. SJWs seem to believe that only white people can be racist.
You keep talking about reverse racism. That is not a thing.
We are the people in power.
Racism is about oppression. Sorry, white people have not been oppressed.
By definition, racism is about being prejudiced to another race. Power is completely irrelevant. Besides, let me use their own logic against them. If a white person was to live in an African nation and face extreme discrimination because of their race, would that not be racism? As you'll see right now, racism is not limited to Western countries.
너는 교회 다니냐?
아, 네,
교회 다니냐? 우리 불교야.
네, 감사합니다.
쓰레기 얼른 갖다 버려야 돼.
They're gonna come and talk to you guys.
너 교회 다니지?
They're gonna come and talk to you.
외국인들 다 교회. 요새 지랄 교회 가서.
I told them the number.
이게 다 싫어. 입력해.
아저씨 같이
우리
내리세요.
불교.
저희랑 같이 내려주세요.
나이만에 우리 집에 그 대표님들 위임해서.
같이 내리세요. 그렇게 불평 많으시면 같이
뭐?
내려서.
나는 형사 출신이야.
아저씨,
입력해.
아무리 실체했어도 그렇게 말하시는 거 아니고요. 어디 가서 아저씨가 이런 식으로 당한다고 생각해보세요.
빨리 내려.
아저씨 경찰이 잡으러 올 거예요.
So I'm not sure what this guy's problem is.
我都没有对他说任何话。什么？我中文那么烂？然后嘞？好。所以你刚跟着我从那边到这边，对不对？
是啊，为什么呀？
好，再确定一下。
又怎么样？这有什么罪吗？这里是哪里？
我就问你，这是哪里？这是台湾。
对啊，所以你就太嚣张。
小心什么？你在威胁我吗？不然你可以做什么？
做什么？
对，
看
我们也要干嘛？
对啊，我也没有要干嘛。
所以为什么我要小心什么？
小心说有别人会找我。
谁会叫我？
很多人看你不爽。
谁会叫我？
全台湾人都看你。
全台湾会叫我。
对啊，除了这个婊子。
这个婊子，你说她是我女朋友吗？
啊？
你在说我女朋友吗？
对啊。
说她
这种烂货在一起就是婊子。
因为跟我在一起，因为跟我在一起就是
对，对，因为你根本是个不优秀的外国人，你在外国才是乞丐的那种，在那骗吃骗的乐死，有种就滚回去啊！啊，
滚回去？对
啊，你还回来跟我混不下去，看不起，乐死！
好，都另一个对不对？好，
你也是乐死，台湾女人乐死。
你在说我女朋友是乐死
？Still saying because we are white and you're black, we can't give you the honor of equality in the Security Council. Nonsense. That should stop. Mr. Ban Ki-moon, just tell them for the last time, just as a message that you have heard for the last time from here.
There you go. It's not reverse racism, it's plain racism. When certain Black Lives Matter activists claim that they want segregation because they don't want to share college dormitories with white people, they are being racist. Now, as much as I don't like Trump, I do agree with the idea of deporting all illegal migrants. Let me just give you one little shout out to the previous presidents. I did not support the Iraq War. It was a complete waste in everything, partially got the world into the crisis we are right now, and took many lives. If the Iraqi people wanted foreign help to topple Saddam Hussein, they could have asked Iran or the Arabs or any other regional power to help them. I'm not going to say anything about the Afghan war, but I will say that it shouldn't have lasted 13 years. If it really had to come to war, I would have just bombed them and left. No reason to stay and rebuild. It's no secret that the US has an immigration issue, and I agree with all people that it has to be fixed. Coming from my last point, 2.5 million US troops fought in the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan between 2001 and 2014. Can you imagine what it would have been like if those 2.5 million troops had been stationed on the tiny US-Mexico border? That would have cut illegal immigration by a lot, not by a little.
These are real-life scenarios in a rugged region.
To test us and let us know our deficiencies and our strengths.
Not only is this exercise valuable for the soldiers out here, but the Army will evaluate the training to see what worked, what didn't work, in order to better prepare troops for deployment.
One last thing I would just like to point out is that many people don't know Canada and Australia have their own illegal immigration problems. On a daily basis, about 35 people are deported from Canada, including refugees. Most of them are from China, North Korea, Iraq, Haiti, Zimbabwe, Syria, Somalia, and the US. Yes, Americans illegally enter Canada either to find jobs or to gain access to the healthcare, and I agree with all of these actions.
This government will stand steadfast in protecting the border.
Due to poverty in Southeast Asia, many migrants and asylum seekers are getting on boats and attempting to enter Australia. The country has had an anti-immigration policy for decades, such as the Immigration Restriction Act, which was implemented in 1901. Although it has been dismantled, its traces still exist today. Australian Defence Forces often turn away boats with migrants or send them to detention centres, in an action that has been known as Operation Sovereign Borders. Yes, I agree with that too. So in any case, Trump's wall should look a lot like this. So I'm going to say it the way people think it's okay to say Africa is for Africans.
This my countryman. We here long for you came, long after you gone.
Asia is for Asians.
The price you pay for bringing up either my Chinese or American heritage as a negative is, I collect your fucking head. Just like this fucker here. Now, if any of you sons of bitches got anything else to say, now's the fucking time! I didn't think so.
Well, I'll put it that white people...
You know what you guys don't get? We're not a fucking building. We're not a fucking flag. We're not just one man. Assholes like you have been trying to kill us for a long fucking time. But you know what? 1,000 years from now, we'll still fucking be here.